All right, here we go, folks. Saturday night. Why not? We have a lot of people interested in this story. We're going to bring you the latest, up to speed, get everybody up to date. We're going to let everybody file in a little bit. Again, it is Saturday night, and this is a big story. I want to send a quick if you want to join. Okay, and also let me send that one more time. Now, again, if there is someone that comes into the chat who is a family or friend of Kylee, of Kylee, notify one of the moderators, and then we will get the proper information. So again, we're going to let everybody file in. Now, I also want to address, for those of you, we have right now, obviously, we're live on YouTube. We're live on X. I'm going to remain calm tonight. Hi there, Jane Rice. I have to good evening, Ryan. I have to get back into the mindset of that we're dealing with comments of people that just, they just fire off things, they fire off questions. There's a certain mindset that I have to be in to be able to deal with that. And so, hi there, Mary. So, folks, again, and I see, it's not like I don't see people posting. Is there any update? A couple things. First of all, if there was an update, you wouldn't have to search. We would have it, excuse me, very prominent right there without question. If we had an update on her, I'm a little surprised, but maybe people don't realize this. Tracy Montero. And see, here we go with Jennifer. Did they find the girl? Jennifer, don't you think I'd be saying that? Maybe I shouldn't ask questions. I should just tell you. But watch how many times people put that. Did they find her? Don't you think it'd be saying that? Wouldn't it say they found her with a big headline? I know, Trisha. But then I'm trying to teach and there's Robin and Nancy, as I am. Hi there, Ashley. When I'm saying I'm trying to give everyone kind of an understanding of how to deal with it. To me, see, here we go. Did they find the girl yet? Wouldn't I be saying that? I'd be saying that. It would be in the headline. It would be saying they found her. Instead, I'm looking Saturday night, latest on the missing girl is the headline. Did they find her? I don't know if then people are just trying to be funny, which they may be. So again, these types of cases. Now I'm learning more about it, and I'm going to share a lot of that with you. I realize exactly, Bruce. Thank you. So wear it on your forehead. Now, what does that mean? I'm not going to get thrown off. I don't know what that means. I don't need to. Hi there, Heather. It's right there at the top. So thank you, Mary. I want to just check. So, because some of the comments, I mean, I'm looking at the headline above on Facebook, latest on where is Kylee? Do you think that would be the headline? I'll answer my own question. The headline would be they found her. They found Kylee. That would be the headline, not where is she? So there's Lisa. Again, folks, I'm not going to go off. I'm not. We're going to remain focused. I know a lot of people say ignore them. And I recognize I have to be in the right mindset to be able to do that. Now, I also want to address, and again, I'm not trying to embarrass anyone, but like I see on, this is for the subscriber page, someone, well, when is Road Patrol? Listen, when we're out on Road Patrol, thank you to Robin, we're looking for a story. When we go out on Road Patrol Live, we're looking for a story. Well, we have a story. There's no reason for me to go out. We have a big story, and it's happening right now. Now, just to put it out there, think of it this way. That's what's being served. This is a restaurant. That's really what it is, Juan's Place. This is a restaurant. That's what's on the menu. Right now, we have a missing persons case. Kylee Montero. That's what's being served. I don't know what else to tell you. You can try to seek out other people that go into Chad Brown, Hartford Avenue projects, Salmon Street, all over Providence, South Providence, and trying to you are absolutely have freedom to go and try to find someone else that does that. But if you want to eat here right now, that's what's on the menu. And we've demonstrated in the past. I dedicated a lot of time to the Charlotte Lester case. Folks, sometimes a story takes over. And believe me, we get criticism. Not that I take it well, but we get criticism. Oh, enough on this. Like that type of thing. Same thing, Linda. Linda went missing on a Thursday. We dropped everything and went live coverage of that. I had people there. All right, well, are there other stories out there? Enough about Linda. No, that was a very important case, and it was time sensitive. So, but for those, I couldn't be any clearer. That's what we're serving. That's what's on the menu. You come in and they say tonight, fish and chips. If you don't like fish and chips, then I guess you're not eating at the restaurant. But that's what's on the menu. And we do have some updates. Now, again, I also have to clarify for some people because there's updates that the police are giving, and then there's updates that we learn about, that I learn about. And there is a difference, by the way. So, and I recognize some people. We have a lot of new people, which I like. You can become a subscriber. I want to thank Robin. Look at, there it is. I mean, I can't tell you how much that annoys me. When is RPL back? You know what that basically says? I don't care about this story. God, but we're gonna rise above. Yeah, it's a huge story. You have a life at hand. When are you going back out there? All right, we're gonna go past that. Maybe I should just delete it so they don't have to look at it. We'll just pretend that somebody didn't post that, because there are, just in case when people, there we go, any new updates. Yes, as a matter of fact. Now, let's talk about, thank you. That's exactly right, Brandy. It was. Summer solstice, any new updates? I'm glad you typed that in, Summer, because otherwise I wouldn't have thought to mention anything. All right. Thank you, Anna. Yes. I know, Pat. They don't. This is where I'm going to get to it. But people, they just barge in the room. I'm willing to bet in their home where they live, if there are people gathered, in the kitchen or at the dining room table, they just walk in and just start firing off questions. We don't do that here. You come in, you observe the room, and then the answer could be right there. Yes, there's Mary. So thank you, Tanya. And I'm going to stay on the story despite that. Now, instead of me having to repeat a lot of things. Now, there are some people that go back and they watch it because these are on demand. Thank you very much, Holly. Yes, I appreciate that. So some people will watch this later and they don't realize. I also, by the way, I fully get some people, they don't care about their social media. They don't, because they put ridiculous comments, or they put insulting comments. And the thing is, and I'll tell you where that's from, because right now our reels are rocketing. I mean, the reels that we have been doing, when I did the reel, that's part of, like with Facebook, you have text, you have stories, you have posts, but then you also have live, but then you also have reels. When we did the reel on the girl doing the DUI in Westerly, I mean, that has gotten close to 600,000 views. Some of these reels regarding Kylee have now generated over 100,000 views. So the thing is, that brings in people from the outside. They see that and they say, oh, I'm interested in this page. But as a result of that, you get all kinds of people. And by the way, people do pick up stories late. Karen Reed, there were people that they didn't pick it up till the second trial. Some of them didn't pick it up till the end of the second trial. But that's why if you log on to the website, depetro.com, I did put a new posting today, and that is, this is what I'm going to use as updates. Now I post it, and then there's a link, and then you can see the various stories. And the title of it is, Where Did Her Phone Last Ping? And I'm going to talk about that. There's a lot of misinformation about this. So where are the police right now? The police have not said anything for the media, and you can tell certain members of the media are getting a little frustrated. Why are there no updates? There's no update. So I'm going to go over where we are. And if people watch this, they get an understanding of it. And then I'm also going to be posting videos and more that I'm learning. And I am learning. I'm learning new details every day. So those of you that have followed and watched, we didn't just, the media covered Charlotte Lester when that first happened, and then that was it. Then they leave. We stayed and developed a lot of information. We broke a lot on that story. And already you can see we're doing that. Now, I posted last night, and it's on, let me actually, thank you, Ray, excuse me. It's not easy. I have not contacted Ladybug. I've had 2 other psychics reach out to me. I'll be honest. I think it's a little early for that. So I typed, there is the website. So, and I'll answer as I then put out. And then if you want to refer, for instance, last night, I never heard back from the friend. She was saying, yes, they found some phones at the Dunkin' Donuts. And I say, well, where did you see that? I don't know. I don't know. Is it possible? But I did post. So I'm talking to a lot of different people. And I want many of you to know the reason I go there on scene is then people reach out to me. They see I'm there, and they tend to, my experience has been, they share more information with you when you do that. So with this particular story, I have learned, and because a lot of people are asking this, and I also want to tell you, so when many of you see it, when you see it, then you can answer. So that right now, I'm not saying it may change, but right now, I think we're a little early on the psychic thing. A little early. I've had 3 reach out to me, and I haven't even talked to LB yet. I'm not saying we won't go there, but I think this is all still new. So, but now, getting back to, people ask, where did the phone last ping? I feel very comfortable and confident in talking to different sources from what but it's a little convoluted, but that her phone last pinged on that property. That's what is on the website, and you can see it. So, and there's a number of other different stories there, but that is the information that I have. Now, I caution people, I want to put a predicate to it that there's some, from what we understand, and you see the headline, where did Kylie's phone last ping? I feel very confident in saying that it was at the property. And I want to walk through several things about this story and what we know, and also to clear up, I'm already seeing this misinformation out there. So in TikTok, there's people that are just putting misinformation. But let's just talk about that. So what does that mean? It's not pinging anywhere else. And we've learned from the family that she always has her phone with her. So now, but we've also learned that apparently most people, or at least I do, I don't know about everybody, but I have unlimited data. So wherever I go, obviously, I can then text and retrieve things, but not everybody has that. And from what I understand, she did not have that. So what does that mean? It means someone needs to be hooked up to a Wi-Fi to be able to, do various things with their phone. So that's my understanding, that she did not have an unlimited data plan. And so therefore, she would have to be close to a Wi-Fi. However, as someone pointed out, if you call 911, from what I understand, you don't need the data plan. But do you understand, otherwise, if you're not on a Wi-Fi, then you can't do a lot of things with your phone. Now, would that affect, is that the reason that that's the last spot that something pinged? I was also speaking to a private investigator today that said a lot of times that can be deceiving because it's in a general area. They're still developing that technology. And what do I mean by that? It means, it doesn't necessarily mean it's like 100% this is the spot. It generally is in a little bit of an area. So it's still helpful, don't get me wrong. So here's where that is important. And I understand. Here's a question that people are asking. Well, where's her cell phone? Before we get to that, what's a better question? Where is she? I can tell you right now on this Saturday night, they don't know where she is. So put 2 and 2 together. Where's her cell phone? It could be with her. But where's her cell phone? Then I don't know where her cell phone is. And on top of that, the bigger question is, where is she? So this would be a lot easier to solve if you could just say, well, where's the cell phone? Then you find the person. Obviously, but what I learned a lot with the Karen Reed case, John O'Keefe, we learned a lot about his cell phone. He had his cell phone on him. They found it under him. It also, the temperature of the phone, dropped considerably when he got out of the car. I don't want to get down the road of the Karen Reed thing, but I'm just mentioning the technology is getting better, and it'll probably become much better, but it can be in a general radius of where it beams off something. One more reference on Reed, and that is that her Lexus connected back to his house on Meadows so the Wi-Fi from there. So that's how they could determine when she arrived back there. But as far as pinpointing him outside of the house, it was a general circle, and that can vary. It can move a little bit. So keep in mind, it's basically almost 26 acres. 26 acres. That's a lot of land. So is that 26 acres? Is that the phone is pinging on the road? Is it pinging at a neighbor next door? I spoke with a private investigator that said it can be within 1,000 feet sometimes. So what I mean by that is it's not an exact science. But I still want to walk through this a little bit. And I recognize someone, well, they're not able to do that just yet, Michelle. They're not able to do that. I know that people praying that she's found safe. Let's be realistic now. The last time anyone saw her was the 6th. And I want to touch on that. I saw a TikTok today. I don't know who this woman is. She actually has a pretty good following. And she said the last text message from her, she said, I don't feel safe on Wednesday night. Well, we know that that's not true. And I also want to point out, I have, again, on the website, and I do this so then people can go back at their leisure. And it's some of the last texts. And what's interesting about that is, I'm not going to say who, because she was known to text several people. But there was text messages from her to someone on Thursday. Sorry, me and Greg went to get food. I'm still here at 1:46. And then the question comes in, are you staying there again tonight? There's a lag time. And then at 3:52, I don't think so. We haven't talked yet. We're waiting till 3. Now, I don't know what to make of that, because then you see what happened. Can you call me? And then miss calls. I want to be very clear. We don't know. What don't we know? We don't know if she was texting several people Were there texts later into Thursday night? That's an unknown. Was she the one texting that? I don't know. When someone posted, we're going to talk at 3, I don't know yet. But then it's sent afterwards. I've sometimes thought I sent a text. I've written a text, and then when I check it, I realize, oh, I didn't. When I thought I hit send, but it didn't send. So you don't know exactly. Could that just be someone, they're not fully paying attention? They're outside. I don't know. They went to get food. Okay, where did they go to get food? How did they go to get food? What does that mean? It's my understanding that he doesn't drive. I want to also just remind people, I don't know, and that should not be posted. We don't know that. There is a psychic that has said that, but that should not be, and I'm asking the moderators to always bad self-service. Thank you, Caroline. Caroline always comes up with a good statement. Hey, I had bad self-service in Rehoboth, and I normally have very good self-service. Remember, it was buffering for a little bit. So that can be a tricky area. So, if someone, we went to get food, I don't know what that means. Did he drive? Did the grandparents drive him? I thought he doesn't drive. So how did they go to get food? Did that mean they were outside and then went into the house to get the food? I don't know about that. Now I also want to use this. Yes. So Sultan wants a quarter. I want to be very clear. No one should put that in the chat. And I don't know if that was put on Facebook or that was put on YouTube. So I'm going to get back to that. Okay, I don't see it anymore, so I'm going to assume that the moderators took care of it. Yeah, we don't need that. There's a difference. There are things I share with the subscribers, but it's just for the subscribers, and it doesn't need to go into general chat. I want to remind people right now, let's talk about what the police have said. Nothing. They don't have a person of interest. There's no suspect. It's a missing person alert. That's what the title is, and they're not saying anything. And remember, the Massachusetts State Police are also now. That's exactly right, Anna. This Eric. I know. I know when people say praying for a good outcome. I hope she's found safe. Okay, I mean, I think so. Hey, I will admit with Linda that seemed pretty dire. And then on Sunday they did find her, but this is longer. She's pregnant, and let's just, again, I'm not casting fingers. I don't know what happened. You have that friend that we had on last night who's like, I'm very confident. I don't know. So though, and she's very nice to come on, and we've had her on, but to say like I have faith in her, I don't know what that, like, that's, if something happened to someone, I don't know if that would mean that you don't have faith in them. It could be out of their control, quite frankly. So, but let's talk about what we know. And I know this from jumping on it. It's Saturday. Okay, well, the last time that anyone saw her, as far as her family and sister, was the Wednesday night. Now, that is supposedly when she did send out a message saying, I don't feel safe. But it's my understanding there was communication after that, and they were trying to work some things out. How did she get there on Wednesday? So she was staying. We know that lodging is a problem. Let's talk about Kylee. Kylee is 18. She just graduated from high school. This is a new relationship. It sounds like it was moving very fast. She was going to try to go become a welder. I have not heard anything about college. So she met him back in February, March, and She's graduating. She's spending a lot of time with him. In May, she starts staying there. Now, I also, last week would be 11 weeks pregnant. And an interesting question here, I think, is when did she start to tell? When did he find out that he was the father? How did he react when he found out he was the father? She seemed excited, but it's a new relationship. She started staying there. I've heard the grandparents maybe weren't so keen about that. And, again, I obviously don't know the grandparents. His mom's alive, but she doesn't live there. And not only does he suddenly have this girl around, but now she's staying there. That's I know she's 18 and he's 22, but I'm just trying to think, that's unusual. That's unusual. I think a lot of people, if you were grandparents and you have a 22-year-old grandson staying with you and suddenly as a girlfriend, they may still be saying she's going to stay down on the couch or she's going to stay up in your room and you're sleeping on the couch. Not everyone would say, okay, well, you guys, go to his room. I mean, I don't know these people. I have no idea, but they're still very young. He's 22. 22 to 18. I know people say, well, it's only 4 years. Yeah, but she seems very still coming into herself, so to speak, not exactly able to take care of herself. Parents deceased, staying with the aunt, but then suddenly she's staying with him. It sounds like some people were trying to tell her, be cautious about this, but at the same time, suddenly she's 18. So, but I don't know the answer to that. When did he find out that suddenly he was going to be a father? That's a lot for a 22-year-old guy, for someone that he just met. Now, let's dig into this a little bit more. Yes. Well, or right there in thereabouts, Christine, 11 weeks, almost 3 months. So when would you start to tell someone? A lot of people wait till 3 months before they say anything. Maybe not first time. If it is first time, I have no idea. Did he find out? I don't think he found out at 4 weeks, possible. Did he find out at 8 weeks? When did she tell him that? That is still an unknown. How did he react to that? Well, here's what we know. She showed up there Wednesday and they had, a disagreement. So now it starts to become, it's a domestic situation for whatever it may be. But she was not going to be staying there. So from what I understand, he's the one that contacted the police. I saw that. That is not true. Someone posted I interviewed the boyfriend. I'll say this, Lisa. See, folks, how stuff spreads? If someone posted, all right, here's the thing. I'll tell you this, Lisa. If that happened, it would be on the website. It'd be on the Facebook page. It'd be on YouTube. I'm not holding out, you guys. I'm not holding out. If I had an interview with him, as I've stated, right now, let the police do their thing. A woman on TikTok said the last time she texted with anyone was that Wednesday night. She said she didn't feel safe. Well, we know that that's not true. So, no, I did not. I did not interview the boyfriend. No, that's quite all right. Yes, I did see that. Altercation. Yep. Okay. But that's you, Michelle. And you don't know what she was like. Okay, and that can happen like that. You were 17 dating a 21-year-old. Well, then there's this situation. He is employed. He's still employed. There'd be no reason why he's not employed. That was other misinformation. But let's get to, so she arrives there. And I think it's some kind of a shelter. And it could be a shelter for young women. And from what I understand, and I think the sister said that, Kitty, They paid for her Uber. Where do you want to go? And she had the Uber take her there to Rehoboth. Now, we don't know. Was she texting him and he said, sure, come over? Did he say, no, don't come over? These are, again, unknowns. This is unknown. But she gets there, and there's an altercation that night. No one speaks to her on Thursday. Now, it's my understanding he is the one that contacted the police on Friday. So, I want to be straightforward with everybody. If he is saying, no, she left, and from what I understand, things were not smooth, even to the point that he wasn't thrilled that she kept contacting him. Now, we can say, well, that's odd. I mean, he's the father of the child, but we don't know. We know how she reacted. She put a heart, baby groom, which is his last name. Maybe he wasn't thrilled about it. Did he have a new love interest? If suddenly he didn't want her around, is it because he has a new love interest? Or is this suddenly just moving very fast? Again, this is all unknown. But here's what I ask, and I wonder, I should say. So it's Thursday, and it's my understanding, on very good authority, that he has said that basically she left. She walked away, left there. Now, I was there. This week. That's a windy road. That is, there's no quick main road. As I said, that's not a bus route. So if you're walking, it's, first of all, you certainly can't walk in the dark, number one. Number two, you'd be for a while. There's nothing close. So that, I don't think that would be a situation of, someone's just like, I'm going to walk, as if they're living more in a neighborhood type of section. And I'm not trying to give an analogy, but it's not as if, someone's walking because they know there's a bus that comes by a couple blocks away or something like that. Here's I think, some legitimate questions. I want to be very clear. I don't know the answer to these, but if she's texting all these people all the time in constant communication, why isn't she texting someone, hey, can you come get me? If the grandparents used to drive them around, why? I don't know why couldn't the grandparents? She's leaving. We're going to drop her on Route 44, which is more of a main road. It kind of reminds me a little bit, folks, of A Few Good Men, right? Private Santiago, desperate, writing letters. I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here. Suddenly, he's being transferred off the base. He didn't call anybody. He didn't pack a bag. He didn't say to a buddy, as Kathy says in the courtroom, hey, can you pick me up at the airport? He was leaving. Santiago was leaving for the rest of his life off of the base. And he didn't pack anything, and he didn't call anybody. And as he says to Jack Nicholson, you came here for an overnight, and you packed your clothes and you made all these phone calls and so forth. So suddenly someone who's always texting people on the phone doesn't text, hey, can you come get me? Hey, I need a ride. I don't know. It seems a little odd, unless, again, there's so much about this that we don't know. So we have not heard of other people. Is there someone out there that said, no, she was texting me, asking me for a ride? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. You know, the bruises are being, I know that was her friend that said that. I don't know what to make of that. Different, um, I've heard different things about that. That again, this was someone that not saw, didn't see her all the time. Cameras. All right. Now, Connie, I'll answer. I'll answer this. What about cameras? Well, we don't know. First of all, it's very woodsy. All you have to do is look at the video. I post video so you can see what the street looks like. Number one, it's very woodsy. Number two, the police could have video. They're just not telling us that. So what about camera? No one had a camera around there. Well, that's not true. Someone could have a camera. They're just not sharing that. Maybe they have a camera and they show her walking by, or maybe they have cameras and it doesn't show anyone walking by. So nothing against Connie, but I don't, no offense, but I don't accept the premise of the question. What, no one has any camera? They could. We just don't know that. So they said no cameras, the mom and dad did. I don't know what that meant. They said no cameras, the mom and dad did. Jennifer, I don't know who they are or the mom and dad did. The friend and the mother. Okay, maybe Brandy. Could be. I don't know what to make of that. You know, I don't know what to make of that. People get nervous. People see something. People are focused on their own thing. You know, flock cameras, we don't know if, do they have extensive flock cameras in Massachusetts? Do they have flock cameras in Rehoboth? We don't know. And where would the flock cameras be? They're normally on main roads. They'd be on 44. We don't know what direction someone is then leaving. That's right. Their mother passed away. So I don't know what that means. Her mother passed away, and his mother does not live on the property. The only reason I say that is so I don't, even his sister is BS. He doesn't have a sister. Jennifer, no offense, but I'm going to flag you for the moderators. I don't know who you're talking about. His sister. He doesn't have a sister. He has a brother. So I don't know who some of these references are. I'm not going to get mad. Mass doesn't have flock cameras. Thank you, Brenda. That does seem to be more of a, you know, Cranston started with them. Now Providence has them, and they're very effective. But remember, flock cameras, they catch license plates. So if someone's walking, it's not going to pick up on someone walking. Thank you, Chris. That is exactly right. Police are not sharing. I find it interesting that if people don't hear something, they like that. Oh, what? So no one has any cameras? Well, we don't know that. We don't know that they don't have cameras. We don't know that. Again, they don't share all of that. So many missing young women. Right. Yeah. Oh, Eric says you do have them. Okay. All right. So Eric would know. Mass does have flock cameras. Again, that's for reading a license plate. That's what the flock cameras do. It's a hit on. So Eric is saying Mass has them. Christine is saying we don't. Mass has flock cameras. Eric would know. More flock cameras than Rhode Island. Okay. I didn't know that. Tons of them in Rehoboth. Thank you, Christine. I didn't realize that. So I agree. It seemed, I agree with that. Listen, you know, they agreed to come on. It was someone that knew her. Let's face it, this whole, how these people suddenly get thrown together, it seems very, boy, things were moving 100 miles an hour. Maybe, well, it already sounds there were problems in the relationship. We'll say that. Now, again, I want to be very clear. The police have not named anyone as a suspect. This is a missing persons case. Christine is asking about residential cameras, and that's what I thought you meant, Christine. Here's the answer to the question. I'm going to point to another case, the Charlotte Lester case. It turned out there was a neighbor that caught video of her red truck going by. the police did not share that till after they made an arrest. So to answer the question, for people that are saying, well, don't anyone have, they could. The police could be, as I just explained, the police could be sitting with footage that shows a vehicle going by, or they could be showing footage that no one went by. They're not sharing that. I also want to remind people that, Raynham Police, Rhode Island has them. They don't. All right, well, Seekonk does. Seekonk does have them, Brenda. So I believe you. Canton has several. Okay, good to know. Look at this. They did an arrest. They did an arrest. I have no idea. Does anyone have any idea what she's talking about? Anne Marie Watt. They did an arrest. I have to disagree with me on what? Flock camera helped solve the murder in Cranston. Was stolen. Right, but you're still talking about someone driving. I don't think we're disagreeing on anything, but there's no guarantee that anyone was in a vehicle, is what I'm saying. There's no guarantee that anyone was in a vehicle. I understand how flock cameras work. I've been riding with police. They say we got a hit on a flock camera of a vehicle they were looking for. What I'm saying is, if someone says that she went off on foot, if someone's walking, they don't pick up. If you're walking by, the flock camera is not hitting you. That is true about the flock camera with Cranston. I agree with that. Maybe Raynham doesn't. Several do. Thank you. Look at this. Did they? I'm sorry. And Marie, don't you think that'd be the headline? Or maybe you're new to the... Did they? So do you think there's an arrest and we're holding it back? So we're just talking about this? I said nothing of the... All right, I want to see something. Hold on. That's bullshit. Okay. No. I want to repeat. See how this stuff... One person has me interviewing the boyfriend. Now someone's saying they need an arrest. I want to repeat. If there was an arrest, that's what would be going across the screen right now. That's what would be going across the screen. That's what we would be talking about. Thank you, Lisa. No arrests, no suspects, no persons of interest. I just don't understand. Folks, and again, this isn't geared towards everyone. Why didn't he go after her? It's his baby. Maybe he didn't want to be in a relationship with her. Maybe he didn't want to have the baby. Scott Peterson. What did he say? On second thought, I think I'd rather date Amber Fry and not have Lacey Peterson around. Carbuncle Pond. The guy there. He had the pregnant girlfriend in Brockton. He had the new girlfriend. The new girlfriend said, it's either me or her. So what did he do? He tossed the pregnant girlfriend from Brockton in Carbuncle Pond in Coventry. So to answer your question, Michelle, why didn't he go after? It's his baby. I see, and I'm not trying to nitpick here. Why didn't he go after her? He wasn't allowing her to stay there. It's not, hey, you can't leave. He's saying you can't stay here. So if you're saying to someone you can't stay here, you're then not chasing after them. You're telling them to leave. If he had said, hey, good news, you can stay, well, that's a whole nother deal, but that's certainly not what happened. So the question, and again, I'm not trying to single out Michelle, but Michelle, no, the real answer is, if you're saying to someone, I'm sorry, you can't stay, and don't contact me anymore, and I don't want to see you anymore. Are you concerned the next day that they don't contact you? I don't know about that. Yes, Jada, that is exactly right. Suddenly there's a lot. You go from no girlfriend to a new girlfriend to a pregnant girlfriend. Do you understand how many this is? You want to talk about a new relationship. Did he feel, like he didn't like how fast things were going? He's got 26 acres. Is it suddenly going to be, you guys better sell some of this because this is where I'm going to live with I have no idea. But did he meet someone else that maybe he was attracted to or interested in, and suddenly decided, not only do I not want a girlfriend, I certainly don't want to be a father? Possible. I know some people are recommending. We're just going to hold off on that just for a moment on the idea of doing a psychic. I'm not saying yes, that's right, Caroline. Again, there's so much about this we don't know. I'll give about another week and something will surface. Here's the thing though, Ray. This could go on a lot longer. Yes. Thank you, Jane Dwyer. I was looking for you. If they found her, it'd be on the news and John would know. I think I'm trying to clarify. Sometimes when we do this, I start to wonder. Let's talk about what Gina just put. Surely the grandparents would have ensured her and the unborn were safe at least. Hi there, Linda. Gina, but we don't know these people. I find the whole thing odd. I find it odd that the grandparents are driving a 22-year-old guy, him and his girlfriend, around. I find the whole thing odd. There are people that are odd. I found out, he meets her. Suddenly she's living there in May. Did they know? Did they know? But here's the thing, Gina. Did they even know she was pregnant? She hadn't been pregnant for that long. It's not like she's in her second trimester. It's not like she's in the fourth or fifth. Still pretty early. We don't know how often they saw her. They may have not even known. It's just yes. Thank you. Thank you, Brandy. I do get a little surprised when people pop in on something like that. Instead of just, obviously that would be the headline. We'd all be talking about it. And actually, if that happened, I got pregnant. I was a teen. My baby's father broke up with me, stopped speaking to me. Then he dated other girls for a while. Eventually got back together. See, Elizabeth, that can happen. That can happen. So, but here's, you heard the friend, and it's the mama bear saying, I told her go to Crossroads. When I heard that, again, I'm not, she asked if she could stay with him for 3 days. Mama bear and the daughter, they were very nice, but folks, when we go by Crossroads, I wouldn't feel safe staying at Crossroads. When I go by Crossroads, I see all these skeevy looking guys out in front. Do you have any idea of the reaction of an 18-year-old white female, walking into that mix? Anyone that says to an 18-year-old who's pregnant, go stay at Crossroads, I don't think they understand what Crossroads is like. So, yes, Leanne, I know. Exactly right, Maria. Thank you. Now, I have a couple of other bits and pieces. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to post them on the website, depetro.com. Yeah, I have at least 2 new little tidbits. And I'm not holding out, but sometimes it's easier for people to read it and absorb it. It is. Thank you, Amanda. It is like a methadone clinic. I almost fell over. Well, you told her what? Go stay at Crossroads. My God, those guys would, if they ever saw, a young female, 18-year-old female is going there, holy cow. They'd do a double take. So it is. Yes. again, folks, Brandy, I agree with that, but it's really, I don't feel safe when I'm just standing outside, right? Like I was filming. Remember the guy who was like, John Micro, let me get your autograph. I mean, you don't know who these people are. And there's always problems there, and they fight back and forth. And can you imagine her showing up there, 18-year-old female, Caucasian? I mean, there's always like 15 to 20 guys there. They'd be like, hey, honey, let's party. I don't think that sounds like a good idea. But she was, I know, Michelle. It's very difficult. That Anna makes a very good point. Sounds like she may have felt very alone after he told her to leave. There's even a third tidbit. I just don't want to put everything out. No, I'll share. On second thought, I'll post some of this stuff. I have it on pretty good authority. I know Amanda. Amanda Mello. Good. I like your attitude. Folks, I try to be honest. I know. Thank you, Janet Dwyer. Janet, I don't remember if I have you as a mod on YouTube, but I should make you one. You and I agree on everything. I know, Linda. I don't know. All right. I'm not going to hold out. It's Saturday night. I believe it's very possible that Wednesday night she found out that he had, not only did he not want her to stay there, but he had a new love interest. So I want to go back to what someone had mentioned. She must have felt devastated. I mean, and it was someone she knew. So not only is he saying, listen, it's over between us, you're not staying here. And oh, by the way, she suddenly starts being suspicious he's involved with someone she knows. That is a very toxic situation that you could have. I want to just, Mary Levesque, listen, the police cannot, I want to just, sometimes I let some of these comments go, but Mary, here's what you need to understand. This is the United States of America. The police can't make anyone, you can't make someone take a lie detector test. You can't force that. I thought that, I know, terrible. That's right, Paula. Can you imagine then? So then it's the Wednesday night. And not only is he saying you're not staying here, but then she learns, she just must have been rock bottom. Like, oh my God. Not only am I almost 3 months pregnant and this guy doesn't even want to see me now, he could be sleeping with someone I know. Oh my God. And then you could see where there could be fireworks. And I'll say this about Kylee. She's not a mouse. Again, I never met her, but she's 6 feet tall. And the Rehoboth police described her as heavyset. When I see the picture of them, she looks bigger than he is. So they don't, Joanne. I don't understand when people put that. So much of this, folks, is I try to share things that I learned. So for someone to even say the police are going to force him to take, I tried doing a chat like this during Karen Reed. There were people saying, can't they force her to take a lie detector in court? I'm like, what? Am I talking to Butler Hospital? What? Where have you ever seen that? What? In this country? In the United States? No, we don't do that. Number one, you don't have to testify in court. Number two, you can't force someone to take a lie detector test. You can. I know people that have taken them and passed them. So, but no, you can't, and then there are people that have taken them and they failed them, but you can't force them. So let's break this down before all these people. I'm telling you, Corey. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Someone was like, well, I was like, we're just going to, I'm not going to say who it was. We're just going to do, I think it was even a subscriber chat. Just going to do a subscriber chat on the Karen Reed trial. And someone said, Can't they force her to take a lie detector test in court? What? Have you ever watched? I always just say, name one example where that has ever happened. The answer is never. No, you can't. I don't know anything about that. The friend set up a GoFundMe. I don't know anything about that. Let me. I haven't heard about any GoFundMes. So they have to get a warrant. You don't need a warrant. You need to have let me just explain. This is something I know a little bit. It's possible she's at a teen place for expecting moms. You know, Nadine, one of the first things police do is put out word to all shelters and hospitals in the area. Another question would be, how did she get there? How did she get to Boston? But no, you can't. Yeah, a lie detector is thrown out. You can't force anyone. The police can't force anyone to take a lie detector test. So there are sometimes they may offer it. They may offer it, but I'll just, yeah. But I'll be honest. I mean, I can't think of an attorney unless there are attorneys. I do know some people. I know some people that the attorney said they'd like you to take a lie detector test, and this woman that I know, she took it and she passed. So, but it ruled her out. They wanted to make sure her story was true. She really wasn't accused of being. Now, again, Michelle, how do you know he wasn't? Like, I don't understand, folks. And Michelle, I don't want you to feel I'm like nitpicking you. How do you know he wasn't questioned? He reported her missing. Here's what I don't understand, folks, and I'm trying to be patient. People put definitive statements, and they don't know. You don't know that. I can't believe no one has footage of the camera. Well, you don't know that. He reported her missing. Hi there, Michelle. The situation does not add up. I agree, Harriet. The latest factual information, do you think I'm giving out no factual information? The latest factual information, if you want to go by the police, is just it's a missing person and they have no suspects, a person of interest. I have been working all weekend. Want people to understand that on a Saturday. A friend set up a GoFundMe, but who is the GoFundMe for? That I don't understand. So I know. Terrible, Caroline. I want to come back to, but that's this Cindy Odd. I absolutely what? How do you know he wasn't questioned? Why do people are like ignoring? I don't get it. The sister's saying it on Facebook. I don't know which sister's saying it. Maybe you could send me a screenshot. Thank you, Dan Coolers. I appreciate that. Again, we're trying to let the police do their thing. She was at one. I don't know anything about that. The family's planning a vigil. I don't know anything about that. And the family set up a Facebook. Hi there. There's Lynn Miller and Nancy. What's the GoFundMe for? I don't even know what that is. There is all right. Here's the thing. If someone could send me a screenshot of that, I'd like to know who set it up and what's the purpose of it. I'm not sure if I fully understand that. A GoFundMe goal, $4,500, but what's the purpose? What's the purpose of it? That's exactly right, Gail. They can be. I think they're getting better at it. Let's see. A girl, Jeannie, set up a GoFundMe. If someone could send me a screenshot, I'd love to see that, but I don't understand what the money's for. Thank you, Christine. That's right. So, well, they haven't said a word. If he sent her away, why would he report her missing? Thank you, Linda. Linda, that is a very good question. Yes, I agree. If he broke up with her, why would he report her missing the next day? Unless to say, I'm worried about her. I know she's pregnant. I don't get it. Yeah. Again, thank you, Kathy. I can't say it enough. He reported her missing. He reported her missing. Listen to Eric, everybody. Read what Eric just put. Only release substantive information, benefit or assist the investigation. Yes, of course. He reported her missing. I don't understand people that put these definitive statements. A GoFundMe was posted and had a goal of $200. Seems a little low. But I don't understand the nature of why helping with search or funeral costs? Do you know that? The police, there's no cost. The Massachusetts State Police for Rehoboth, they're spending all the money for that. I don't know. We're guessing. The sisters are planning a vigil. I don't know anything about that. And I did talk to the family today. Who just put that? He's missing now. There's no information about that. I don't like people like that. We've heard nothing about that. Do people just put that to be funny? Is that what it is? I don't know. I see. Okay. I'm not saying that there isn't one, but I just haven't heard anything. Kitty Montero. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. When she's found for her and the baby, let's not put the cart before the horse here. Why don't we wait until that happens? Okay. Going up from 200. Okay, now some people are sending it to me. Okay. Again, I don't know what to make of that. Oh, okay, I see it. I don't get it though. Well, now I see one. $4,500. And Kitty is organizing this fundraiser. Okay. I haven't seen anything about a vigil. Again, I'm not doubting that it's going on. Okay, I don't see anything about that. Thank you. Who sent that? Stephanie. Thank you. Yeah. I see this. Okay, I don't see anything about a vigil though. All right, now I see there's a second fundraiser. So now, see, I don't like this. Now there's two GoFundMes. Now there's three GoFundMes. Now none of this is good. Help her and the cat find a safe home. So 3 GoFundMes set up. Yeah, I don't. We're going to hold off on that. We're going to hold off on. Yes, okay, promoting that. Well, folks, again, I also want to caution people that who knows how long this could take. I know, Christine. Like, I don't understand why now suddenly these. Okay, you guys, you don't have to keep sending these. All right, I got it. I don't know why. Okay, got it. Oh, maybe it's on the vigil. No. Okay, I already have that. Okay, thank you. But why are there now 3 GoFundMes set up? That's never good. There's one, help Kylee and Bleed the cat find a safe home. Olivia Plainfield is organizing this. Find Kylee. Kitty Montero is organizing this fundraiser. And then find 18-year-old Kylee Montero. Jenna LaPierre is organizing that one. I don't know who these other 2 are. I don't know why you would need 3 different ones. Okay, Corey is a good question. That be because there were 2 before she went missing. Oh, I understand. Okay. Well, we're gonna Well, we can see if Greg shows up, if they have a vigil. If anyone, I don't see anything about a vigil. I'm not saying it's not happening. Maybe they're going to plan it. We'd probably carry that live if they did that. I was suggesting something like that, but here's we don't know how long this is going to go. I was talking with a private investigator today. Folks, what do I mean by that? Right now, on this Saturday night, August 16th, there could be no development between now and September 16th. There could be no news or development between now and October 16th, November 16th. There's no, this isn't a movie. It's not a TV show. This is open-ended. So, the police have to follow everything. They're checking off boxes. We checked here, we checked there. Think of if you lose something in your house, and then you're going through your mind, and then first you're going to search this room, and then you're going to search this room. How many times when we lose something do we go back and you check the same spots? So this could take a while. So people need to understand that. There's a lot of different elements of this. There's also water around there. It's very woodsy. But I also want to repeat, right now, there is no suspect. There's no person of interest. It's a missing person investigation. That's what's going on right now. Scott Peterson showed up for a vigil. Yep, that's right, Joanne Judd. And on top of that, that took a while because Scott Peterson gave the alibi that he went fishing. And then Lacey Peterson's body surfaced right in the area where he apparently had gone, said he had gone fishing. So I've heard that, Wayne. I've heard that. So that's exactly right, Christine. Yes. And again, as I've stated, folks, it's not as easy as people think it is. It's not as easy as they think it is. And I am sure with the Rehoboth police, this has been, yes, thank you. This has been an exhausting week. Can't believe that guy was almost granted a second trial. I know. Talking about Scott Peterson. Insanity. But there are insane people out there. There are. And I know, the family right now, the family needs to rest and sleep. And right now, the people really need to look at Amanda Mello. That guy went missing from Bristol, Portsmouth. He's still has not been found. That's exactly right. I know who you're talking about. I was talking about him with someone. It's not as easy as people think. So there's a lot of different. There are, Cable, but that's part of it. That's part of it. Listen, if someone is interested in it, if he told her to leave, how did he know she was missing? Thank you, Anastasia. Now let's walk through that a little bit. It could have been, I haven't heard from her. It could have been that. We don't know if he contacted someone else, right? Scott Peterson, if we want to stay with that one, he called Lacey Peterson's mother and said, Lacey's missing, which was an odd thing to say. Instead of like, hey, do you know where she is? She's supposed to be home and blah, 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 and that type of thing. We don't know how it was reported, meaning he could have said, and they haven't shared this, but he could have said, there's someone, she was my girlfriend. She's not my girlfriend anymore, but I'm kind of worried about her. We had an argument. She left here and I haven't heard from her. That was Friday. The Rehoboth police did not put out the missing alert till several days later. So we don't know exactly how that conversation took place. Okay, I'll answer that. I see the what was the address that was dropped off by the Uber? That is on the website, depetro.com, Caitlin. We have the video of the house and everything else. I want to go back to why police have not done a press conference on TV. Well, they're getting a lot of press. It doesn't mean she left the shelter by an Uber is exactly right. That's how she arrived in Rehoboth. Why haven't the police done a press conference? Yeah. No. Walking, Darlene. She did not take an Uber out of there. Walked on that road. Now I have the video of that road on the website, and you tell me, that is not somewhere where you're just walking for a short period of time. Why haven't the police done a press conference? If Eric is still on, if he wants to weigh in, police utilize, they're getting the word out that she's missing. It may be that I'll answer this, that I probably know the answer, that they don't want to have to answer a lot of questions. They may not have answers to the questions. Let's talk about that. The police will do a press conference if it, as Eric actually already said, it is dangerous. The police will do what benefits the investigation. So if they don't feel that they would benefit from doing a press conference, they're not going to do one. You know, a good example, I like to try to give examples if I could. That's right, Brandy. Now, I think she supposedly left there late afternoon, so it's still daylight, but still. A good example is the Boston Marathon, right? The bombing was on a Monday. That Thursday, they have a press conference. We're looking for these two individuals. They identify the guy in the white hat, one brother, and then the one with the dark hat. We're trying to find these two. And then that blew it up. Why did they do that? Put everybody on alert, and then leads start pouring in. Police would do a press conference if they felt, as Eric said, it would benefit the investigation. He's a psychic just like Karen Reed. A psychic? I don't know what that means. All right. Hi there, Sammy. So, but to answer the question, they don't. And especially state police, you know, let's remember, state police are definitely, I kind of already answered that, Jennifer. If you told her to leave, why did you report her missing? Again, it's the way you're phrasing that. When we're out, I'll answer this. And those of you that watch Road Patrol, what do we hear? Someone calls the police, they want a well-being check. We hear them explain the call. They live out of state. They haven't heard from their father, brother, wife, aunt, grandmother in a few days. Police do a well-being check. So it's my understanding, if we follow that, it would be someone saying, I'm a little concerned. And again, I don't know how she was described. Friend, girlfriend, former girlfriend who's carrying my child, left here and I can't reach her. I can't find her. Now, I don't believe, I could be wrong, I don't believe that he contacted any of the family to say that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll try to find out. We've kind of already covered that, Corey. Did they search his house? Based on what? You can't, to get a search, remember, judge has to sign off on a search warrant. Based on what? He called the police. Right now, there's no evidence of a crime. He reported someone missing. You're not getting a search warrant for the house. Not right now. I'm not saying they couldn't get one going forward, but no, they have not searched the house. Thank you, Jamie Lynn. They would. She's at his house. The grandparents live there. They have not searched the house. No. Yeah. Probable cause. Thank you, Cable. That's right. It doesn't matter. Corey, just listen for a little bit. Just listen. Don't try to listen. You're wrong. You can't. There is a thing called probable cause. If the police, I'll say this, I believe the Rehoboth police and the Massachusetts State Police are doing everything they possibly can. Cable's right. A lot of armchair quarterbacks here. No, you can't do that. Yes, exactly, Peter. They'll share if they have something or something that they need, right? That they need. Many times it is. Thank you, Janet. The whole thing is a little odd. The whole thing is odd. Again, if you said to someone, you're out, stop calling me, stop contacting me, you're out of my life. Why are you then contacting the police saying, hey, I haven't heard from her? I mean, I admit, that I find a little strange. You can't. I know some people, they don't follow. So then they're just like, oh, you just start. No, you can't do that. You can't do that at all. Police feel under the gun. Colleen, still there, never left. It's odd. It's odd. Again, I'm going to refer you back to in the well, Christine, I want to address this. It goes beyond being sued. The case could get thrown out. The case could be thrown out. So, no, listen. Well, they could be. We don't know about that. But listen, after what the Massachusetts State Police have been through with the Sandra Birchmore case, with the Karen Reed case, with the whole Michael Proctor thing, they are making sure everything, dotted I, crossed T, everything has to be perfect. It could be that they're even being a little overly paranoid, but, look at how, I can't believe I'm going to bring it up, but with the Karen Reed case, what did they didn't even look at anybody else. They didn't even look at anybody else. So police, they want to be very cautious. What do they say? Oh, they went right after her, Alan Jackson, blame it on the girl, blah, 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 and that type of thing. So they want to be cautious. Now, they could have a lot of information. They're not sharing. I understand that. We know that. I'm trying to piece together for you. Paula Gonzalez could be onto something. That can be a motivator, Paula. That could be a motivator. Very different cases, but it's odd. But I agree with that. There's so much of this that doesn't make sense, such as like I mentioned. Okay, you want me to leave. I can't stay here, and I'm not going to be in your life. Let me contact my sister, who doesn't live that far. Let me contact whoever. Let me call somebody. Let me whatever. And then we haven't heard of any of her friends or family saying they were getting messages from her of, hey, I need a ride. Right now, he's making me walk. I'm leaving here. So I think that's a little odd. Let's also, let's go through, that's right. She drives, Grace. That's funny. There's actually a funny thing about that. Anna was a new fling, and Grace pays attention. I had a friend of mine years ago, and he said that he was talking to his mother. His parents were either divorced or the father passed away. But he talked to his mom, and the mother said she was dating the most eligible bachelor at the retirement community where she lived in Florida. And the guy I knew said to his mother, what would make someone the most eligible bachelor? And his mother said, he drives at night. So Anna is maybe a step up because she does drive, as a matter of fact. And she's not pregnant, as far as we know. Sheila, we don't know that. We don't know. Did anyone interview his grandparents? Again, guys, you can't. On what grounds? They could ask them to come in. Maybe they come in. Maybe they don't. Maybe they did. I don't know. That's right. We believe it is that he's the father of the child. Yes, that's what we've heard. That's what she was saying. as far as we know. Yes, Cheryl Ann is exactly right. I want to go to see. We do have some people that pick up on certain clues. I don't map everything out. Some things I think are obvious. Many times they're not obvious. I put, is this the final text from her? Could be, but let's do a little bit of this. It's Thursday at 1:46 in the afternoon. Sorry, me and Greg went to go get food and I'm still here. Now, who will tell? Well, I don't know whether. Yeah, we'll try it. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? At 1:46, supposedly, allegedly, she sends a text that meaning like, hey, sorry I didn't get back to you. Greg and I went to get food. I'm still here. What does that tell us on Thursday the 7th at 1:46? So very interesting about that. Thank you, Colby. Let's see who can. What do you guys make of that? A text comes through, says sorry, meaning I am. I don't know what that means. I think maybe I'm sorry. Me and Greg went to get food. I'm still here. And at 1:46 in the afternoon, what does that tell us? Okay, that's a whole nother story. But what would that tell us? What would that tell us? So Christina's saying she didn't think that was her. She may have had plans with someone. I don't get that. Could have been him texting. It's possible, but there's something more obvious here, which was, again, guys, that's good, Darlene. How do they go to get food with no car? Neither one of them drive. But it's Thursday at 1:46 in the afternoon. Possibly, maybe Michelle. I'll try 3 more. No, you're focusing on the wrong thing. I want you to think of the time of the day. Time of the day. What does this tell us? She's texting. No, that's not it, Corey. She was out getting food with him. No. It doesn't say about Uber. No. What does that tell you? No, Anna drove. What does it tell us if he's going to get food with her on a Thursday at 1:46 in the afternoon? Thank you, Lynn Miller. It means he's not working that day. He does have a job. I heard he's a worker. Well, thank you, Christine. Why wasn't he working? That you don't get that all the time, right? A Thursday at 1:45? Was this a planned day off? He's not at work, right? It's not. We know she didn't work, but so he's not at work. How come he's not at work? Was it a planned day off? Or did he call out sick? What does his work say? Did they say, oh no, that was an arranged day off? Or did he call out sick that morning saying, I don't feel well, whatever reason? So, hi there, Carrie. Well, he wasn't working at that moment. That's true. That's another. Does he normally have Thursdays off? I don't know. Does he have any days off? No, he works in a market. So now markets, there's no talk that I've heard that he's going to go to work later. Haven't heard that. Maybe that's possible. But think of a grocery store. Most grocery stores, the latest they're open is 9 o'clock. Latest. So if it's already, and the grandparents drive him, if it's already going on 2, I mean, is it possible that day he was only going to work 4 to 9? Again, I don't know, but that's a pretty interesting clue. I covered the Freddie Bishop trial. So he was accused, he broke into this place in Warwick. He had just got out of jail. He was accused of shooting someone, and then they hit him with a golf club. And the whatever night of the week it was, the next day he called out. Actually, I think he called out for a couple days. And then they showed pictures. This guy, he had actually stitched his own head. He got hit with a golf club, a driver, right in the head. So they bring up the guy where he worked, And he said, yeah, he said something happened, he had an accident, he was going to be out for a few days. So that's the type of thing they check. So that tells me that's a little unusual. Not everybody has those type of hours. Okay, so he's obviously not working, but he has a job. Was it a planned day off? Was it a last minute thing? What did he tell work? How come he couldn't go in? I don't know. Did he go in that Friday? When did he work before then? Did he work Wednesday? Did he work Saturday? I don't know. Yes, Coble is right. Look at, Corey is determined that if he keeps asking the same question time after time, that he's somehow going to get an answer. Has he interviewed after the initial call with police? Corey, if I knew it would be posted, I would tell you. I know that, but we don't know. Do you understand? I'm giving you guys more info than you're getting. Good point. That was a lengthy explanation. I was just trying to see if other people could kind of figure that out. Yes, we have no information. Did they even go anywhere to eat? We don't know. Let's go a step farther. Becky, the police would check to verify where they went to eat and confirm. Did they go to eat? Was she around to go to eat? Let's go back. That was Thursday. Last time anyone saw her, other than him, last person to see her was Wednesday night when they're having their big blowout. The relationship is over. He has potentially a new girlfriend. So they're going out to eat on Thursday. She doesn't know whether or not she's staying there. They're going to talk about it. I don't know. We don't know, Michelle. That's really interesting. It's not her texting. That's a tough one. I don't know the answer to that. That's exactly right, Janet. Janet is so smart. I'm glad you said that, Joanne. Wasn't there search at Dunkin'? Well, since I'm the only one that has posted the video, there is video of that. That is true. But we haven't heard if they found anything or they didn't find anything. Now, the friend last night that came on said that, oh yeah, they found phones at the Dunkin', but I asked her to send me a screenshot of that. I haven't heard back or heard anything. But I just wonder if whoever posted that, if they just grabbed that off of my video. I do have the video. I was the one that posted the video of them searching the dumpster at the Dunkin'. There's a lot of people right now, as I said, they're just grabbing information. There's a TikTok right now. There's a TikTok, and whoever this is, they're filming. They're filming with their phone. They're filming my phone. They're filming my videos and then posting them on TikTok. There's also that weird girl who's saying, I went there and I helped her move some of her stuff out and blah, blah, blah. But that was like a while ago. So it's my understanding that she moved her stuff out of there a while ago, and then she went to go back to get her cat. So that's another good question I haven't heard anyone ask. Where's the cat? I don't know where the cat is. But so this girl, I'll show you a picture. She apparently is a friend. I know it's a whole thing with the piercings, but I don't fully get it. Oh, where is she? Oh, I had it somewhere. This girl's got like the full ring through her nose. Like, I don't get that. What about if you sneeze or you got to blow your nose? I don't get the whole. I admit I don't get the whole piercings thing, but I know some people that's apparently their thing. But anyhow, but that girl, she also said, yeah, I was there with Kylee and his parents were there. Well, the mother doesn't live there and the father's deceased. So I just kind of wonder what that is. How far was the Duncan from his house? Jennifer, how far was the Duncan? You mean how far is the Duncan from the house? How far was the Duncan? Well, it's still the same distance, so it wouldn't be past tense. It'd be how far is the Duncan from his house? I don't know. I don't know. I think they would just maybe let's check all dumpsters. That's what I would imagine. Yes, that's right, Caitlin. That's right. May she turn up safe. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news there, Foreign, but unless I'm missing something, that's all. I would think they were checking. The way we got that video, they happen to be searching the dumpster at Duncan, but they could have been searching a number of different dumpsters. So, is there any confirmation she was actually pregnant from a doctor or medical facility? Now, because of HIPAA, Lisa, I don't know that. So that's actually a good question. We don't know. Good question. Was she saying that because he was trying to get rid of her? Was she saying that? Did she try to? That is, I do not know. 1.5 miles tops. Okay. I'm not going to get into last names at this moment, Kara. So, but that's right. Now, I'll also say this though, and nothing against her, but we all know the weather lately has been extremely warm, hot. She doesn't, nothing against her. And listen, we all want her to be found safe. That would be fantastic. Um, that would be spectacular. But she doesn't look like someone that does a lot of walking. She doesn't. She doesn't look like someone that said, you know what, I'm going to jog to wherever and then call someone. Doesn't look that way. Plus, I think she had a bag and some kind of a whatever. That is true, though, Caitlin. She didn't make TikToks saying she was pregnant, told friends. It's true. Here we go again. Not that we are aware of. Searching the house. No. No, Kathleen, and again, I'm not going to try to put you on the spot, but the way you're saying, why aren't the cops saying more? Does anyone find that weird? Actually, and I want to be very clear about this, Kathleen, I'm not trying to single you out. We follow this stuff all the time. This is absolutely par for the course. There's nothing weird about it. Nothing. So no, this is how they behave. She has asthma and balance issues. Okay, thank you, Christine. Thank you. He does look weak. I'll give you that. She looks bigger than him. That's exactly right. Stamina issues. Thank you, Lisa. That's right. You know what, Tina? I'll bet they search both. Because remember, you have the Massachusetts State Police, and then you also have Rehoboth, and if Massachusetts is running the investigation, they're probably looking for things to give the Rehoboth police to do. So I do. Very rural. Yes. It is a huge area, Philip. I mean, I that's why the idea that the police are doing their job, 100%. There's nothing odd. There should be no. Don't tell me the conspiracy people are going to invade this one. Listen, as someone, we cover missing people. It's really limited information. So, and the information that I'm giving you guys, okay. Oh, okay. So this is in TV normal in procedure. I don't know what that means. I'm going to read it again. Oh, okay. So this in TV normal in procedure. Anybody feel free to translate that. It's possible. That is totally possible. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Then question the boyfriend. Oh, I see. Question the boyfriend. Who's to say that they didn't? You don't know that. Again, I don't know where these people are making definitive statements. Definitive statements. There's a lot. Are there any dirt bike trails? I don't know about. There's a lot of trails. It's 26 acres, and so there's trails to the water. There's a lot of. There's a number of different. Oh, okay. I mean, this is normal procedure. It is. It is, and especially something. That's right, Robin. Thank you. Something like this, they don't give information. So you get people, and let alone if they think that someone could have been met with foul play, then they're really not saying anything. No, I could not. I couldn't translate that. That's exactly right. Let's go to Christine. Christine, I like this. I like the way you think. Folks, I want to repeat some of the comments from people. Reported missing. Well, you're going to go, so you're not searching anything. You need a warrant. Do you understand? A judge needs to sign off on it. Judge could say, I don't see it. You don't have any evidence that there's anything like that. So no, that's not happening anyway. That's exactly right, Wayne. Wayne is exactly right. Her boyfriend knows where she is. He called in on it and it looks good. I think it more than looks good. I think it could be, but to call it in, thank you, Kathleen. Remember, folks, you can send stars. Those on YouTube can send super chats. Again, it's a Saturday night. Actually, you know what? I've worked on this all day, and I'll probably work on it tomorrow. People like Robin and those that are around know this is how then I hit a story like this. We flood the zone. I try to learn as much as possible. So, do we have an inkling as to why they searched the reservoir? If you go to Joanne, DePietro.com, I have a map that shows where the property is, and the property goes right up to the water. And again, folks, the reason why I'm very happy I put that map there is the reason why I mention it. So there's a number of different stories. I admit they're not long and lengthy. I have a lot of video, but here is, I'm so glad I put this map here. There's the house. Here's the title. Where did Kylee phone last pig? So there's the house. It's not a huge house. Huge piece of property. I filmed the street in front. You could see it on the website. Then you have, this is, I think I can show it. So there is, yeah. So there's County Street, right? So they own all of this land, and then it goes to the reservoir. So here's where the reservoir is. And so they have all of this land. So it certainly would make sense with the water to be able to do that. So I don't know what to make of it, Donna. I don't know what to make of it. Brandy, if he did anything to her, he would need help. People said that about the Charlotte Lester case. I don't know. I still don't know what to make of it. I don't. Hold on. 26 acres is not that big? Are you kidding me? 26 acres is not, I don't know, you wrote this big. You mean that big? 26 acres? Where do you live? This isn't Montana. Most people don't live on a half acre. In very, very nice neighborhoods, everybody lives on 1 acre. There's certain parts of sections where everyone lives on 2 acres. So 26 acres is not that big. I don't remember the last. Yeah, that's huge. Okay, 20 acres in Texas. Okay, well, we're not in Texas, so Northeast, and 26 acres is huge. Most people do not live on 1 acre, let alone 26 acres. And if you see the video, yeah, half an acre, exactly, Philip. If you see the video when I was out there, it's so dense. And there's part of it where I was literally like pushing to get through, and it's very woodsy. And this time of year, it's extremely woodsy. So we're not in Texas. 26 acres is a cattle ranch. Huge. That's right, with undergrowth. Christine is great. Yes. Oh, huge to cover. Now, 26 acres, Joanne, is a lot. I also want to remind people that it's very wooded, Brandy, very wooded. I'm telling you, Lisa, it tests my patience. I hope everyone appreciates how calm I'm being tonight. Last night I was not in the right frame of mind. I forgot I actually have to prep myself to get ready. But vegetation is like a jungle. Philip, excellent, excellent. As a matter of fact, there's the YouTube crowd. The with Charlotte Lester, where they ended up finding her, the state put the. Okay, we're not in Texas. All right, I'm going to put them in timeout. Just like enough of this. I can only take so much. I'm pretty calm other than that. Could be Justin. We don't know. It backs up to it. It backs up to that reservoir. I'm very happy at how calm I'm being with the chat. It's not easy. But we're also trying to school people. Folks, I want you to know, I don't try to be rude, but like people just burst in and start. TikTok is the worst. So I have to be in the right frame of mind to do live on TikTok. People like, update, please. Who is this? What's going on? Who are you? Blah, blah, blah. Like, oh my God. But again, they're people you'd never meet, know, from all over the country, all over the world. They're just obnoxious. So, okay, interactive property map. I used to talk to Kylee. She would never go without contacting someone. I didn't know that, Justin. Okay, I didn't know that you knew her. That's helpful. It doesn't. I'll say this, Stacy. I wouldn't be saying that. I would not be saying that if now maybe the relationship had not fully developed, but there was definitely problems in the relationship between Greg and Kylee, without question. Okay, they do. I saw that club. Thank you, Michelle. There we go. Now we're talking. Thank you. I know. Listen, I appreciate that. Thank you for covering the story. Look at that. Support you covering. I do miss Sergeant Bruno, the chosen one. He is great. He is such a great guy. But here's the thing and I appreciate that. Maybe other people on YouTube will follow suit. Here's Justin, take a break. Take a break. I've already answered this. You're asking too many questions. I'm trying to be nice. This question has already been asked a bunch of times. Listen, you're a young kid. Okay, you used to talk to her. You're with the adults. This is a time to just absorb and learn. Okay, stop firing off questions. If a boyfriend broke it off and doesn't want to be a dad, and mom wouldn't take her in, could she be alive and angry at the world, gotten out of control? That is very possible, Donald. Is that who? Yeah, that's very possible. That's why I want to be very clear, folks. Hey, we were shocked with Linda. So, yes, Fall River reporter. On again, off again relationship, domestic issues. Well, she wasn't staying there anymore, and she didn't have a car, and he didn't drive. He didn't drive, and she didn't drive. So she did not get on an airplane or anything like that. We've also kind of, maybe he just got here, John. We've answered that question, Jennifer, 50 times. Listen, there's nothing wrong with, is this show live, Lynn Miller? Jennifer, there's nothing wrong with people sitting and just watching, and then you pick it up and your questions are answered. That's all. So maybe he just got here. He had been talking to her, which makes him young, which means he should just try to listen. I know. There's another medium reaching out to me. So now, Jennifer, that's very unfair. See, now then I become the bad guy. So thank you, Robin. Okay. She was living with an aunt, but there was some problems. The answer is no. But if he's even asking that, I know. I don't know. She could. That would be fantastic. I would love that. No. Police. Massachusetts State Police are running this. Ignore that. Thank you, Christine. I'll try. It's weird he hasn't reached out. Again, you don't. There's so much here that we don't know. There's a lot here that we don't know, and maybe there was another case. If you remember, do you remember Chandra Levy? Chandra Levy was a DC intern, and she started a relationship with a congressman, Gary, I don't remember his last name, but anyhow. So thank you, Linda. Yes. But anyhow, so Chandra Levy went missing. I don't remember the full story, but then she was found dead somewhere else. But he wasn't involved. But the FBI, he was a congressman, was searching the apartment, and then word leaked out that he was involved with her, and she was a young intern. He was a congressman, I think from the West Coast, Utah, maybe, somewhere like that, Arizona, I don't remember. But my point is that it turned out that he actually had nothing to do with her disappearance. But because they had been in this scandalous relationship, he clammed up. He didn't want to cooperate. It all came pouring out, and then it seemed like, oh, maybe he had motive. So we never know how. I don't know if that's true, by the way. She met him at the park at 3. I've now heard that isn't fully accurate. I'm hearing that some of the things that our friend said the other night, Gary Condit, I think you're right, Linda. Yeah. And pretty young girl. So he was nervous about her. He was nervous about talking to police, but he didn't, harm her in any way. The whole thing took off. He did the big interview, and it was terrible. It was a disaster. So things can see. That's the thing, Rock. I appreciate. Maybe she got picked up by a stranger when she left. I don't know. I mean, she seemed pretty desperate for a place to stay. If she's just that 11 weeks, you may not. It's not like it's an 8-month pregnant woman. A lot of nuts out there. Is that possible? I guess it's possible. Walking along, some hillbilly was like, "Hey, honey, you want to ride? You can stay with me." I mean, I don't know. Possible. Maybe. She was killed by a predator. That's right, Linda. While she was jogging, Sandra Levy. All of her friends, so he had come forward, gave info, provide nothing. I agree. I agree, Cable. Yeah. And that's why I kind of called a timeout on some of her friends that is that true? I heard they met at a park. I heard it was not on an app, and it was not at 3 a.m. So, again, when we're doing something like this, people are not under oath. They don't have a great memory, maybe. We do, Joanne. Someone else said maybe she went on the app and messaged some guy who's like, "I'll be right there." I know. I'm telling you, we don't know. You're right, Grace. It's not easy. Are you watching Rehoboth Talk? I don't know what that is. Rehoboth Talk. I don't know what that is. I heard that story is not true. Let's just say, Loretta, a stranger. Let's just say a stranger. It could be. I report a family member missing. The last place they were seen, they didn't allow the police to do a walkthrough. Now, that can be a different reason. I have not heard of that. Rehoboth Facebook site. Okay. Um, that could be for a variety of reasons. People have illicit drugs. People are uncomfortable around police. Maybe the house. We've heard that the house is a wreck, right? Remember they said when they were FaceTiming with, they could see the background, and it sounds like they are hoarders. So stuff piled up to the ceiling. So could be an odor. People can be. The whole thing is odd. Again, he sounds odd. Maybe he it has nothing to do with this. Very, very, very possible. I want to remind people he has not been labeled a suspect. He has not been labeled a person of interest. I don't know him. I'd like to talk to him, but right now this thing has been so hot. You can tell the police wanted to calm down. I find it odd that he meets an 18-year-old girl. He's 22. Within a couple of months, very short amount of time, she's staying at the house. Suddenly she's pregnant. The grandparents that doesn't drive are driving and back into from work. I mean, the whole thing. Not only does he not drive, he meets someone else that doesn't drive. I mean, the whole thing just seems, I don't know. Plus, then when you heard like the hoarding, right? Like the things piled to the ceiling, doesn't sound. So people that are a little odd, number one, they're probably not going to talk to the media. Number two, they're probably not going to want to let the police in. They could have a family attorney. They could have a family that if the father died, maybe he executed the will. Maybe the grandparents have an attorney for their will. And maybe this could just be a local lawyer who said, don't talk to the police and don't let them in the house. Again, we don't know. Maybe they're not deciding it. Very, very possible. Sure sounds that way. He could be on the spectrum. Yep, he could be on the spectrum. Yeah, I don't know if that's this whole business. I heard from someone it was not at 3 a.m. It was not on an app. She was with some friends. He was with some friends. They met at a park. It wasn't that late and it wasn't on an app. That's what I heard. So I did, Emily, I heard that story that was told is not 100% accurate. What? Let me ask this. How would, definitely a little odd, but look how, he's dating an 18-year-old and then gets her pregnant and she doesn't drive and she doesn't work. And I don't know. They both seem a little unusual. How would he get there? He rode with his friends. How would you guys feel? Because I don't want to shut it down. How would you guys feel about, I don't want to rule it out, a psychic? I'll take for some feedback on that. I think it's too soon. And I'm not saying one way or the other, but I would be curious to hear what people think of that. How would you feel about a psychic? Olivia, where did you see that? Now I have to go back and see what Olivia. I'm curious on that. Now I have to find Olivia's comment. Oh, I just saw Olivia. There it is. No one sees her ex comments on TikTok saying he knows and hopes she's dead. I did see that, and I'll have to check. I think he's even posting that on my page, but there's so many comments that is it really her ex? And so I don't know what to make of that. What do you think? A psychic could give some insight, says Gail. Rock says, I thought that today about a psychic. Lynn Miller says, I'm okay with a psychic. Not tonight, maybe in a few days. Okay. Colby Watts, Ladybug. There's other I've had 3 psychics reach out to me. Michelle says couldn't hurt. All right, psychic would be an awesome idea. That is true. Yep. Psychic could be helpful. I may go after the ex. Someone told me about that, but I've been so busy. Excuse me. I did not. I want to. Let's see. Has helped in other cases. All right. Wow. Okay. Now again, if we're gonna do the psychic, though, we could. I'm very open to it. Then maybe I would have already done it. It certainly couldn't hurt. Maybe tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow night. I mean, on the Facebook subscriber page, I did post what a psychic has already said. So Grace says get a psychic. Okay. I don't know what kind of health she's in right now, Caroline. And she doesn't know the area. She needs to normally go to the area. I've had 3 psychics reach out to me, and one already has had a vision about it. So, maybe she got picked up by a friend with whom she's hiding. What friend? And why is she hiding? She has a really strong relationship with her sister. They talk every day. Why would she be hiding? I don't know what to make of that. I have to be cautious here because this is a very active, even though they're not saying investigation. All right, Trisha says psychic. Would people do stars for a psychic? Or would YouTube people do super chats for a psychic? We may do that. Now what's the reaction? All right. I mean, I have 3 of them and standing by. What about the friend yesterday that was on your show said the boyfriend gave her the creeps? She's not a psychic, but yes, we talked to her 2 nights. I had some other people reach out to her, but I wanted to. Psychic medium. Alyssa has 2 videos. Okay. Am I supposed to guess if there are 2 videos on this or just 2 videos? It's on the subscriber page, Grace. I don't feel comfortable putting this out. And I want the Facebook subscribers, you should know. Is this like the case a lady was hiding with an ex-boyfriend? I don't know anything. Troy, weren't you in a timeout and then that's what you come out with? I mean, I hate to then just like ban people. Trying not to be too quick on the trigger finger here, but she made a TikTok of the night they met. A reputable psychic. Isn't that an oxymoron? No, we could. The thing about LB is she usually needs to go out. Okay. All right. I mean, tomorrow night we could do a psychic. I think we could. Christine says no. Well, I don't know. Grace, after something like this, of course, then people think, why didn't they? But I don't know. We don't know what the situation was before. We don't. All right. I will have tomorrow. So the plan is, by the way, so let's see what happens tomorrow. But during the week, number 1, we're going to stay with this. Number 2, heavy set, not overweight. Heavy set. Number 2, I think we're going to move this to 5 o'clock instead of the 7 o'clock. I'm getting requests from people that say, I was going to do a 4:30 live show like this. And I had a number of people saying, I love the idea, 4:30, 5 o'clock. And now people are saying, at night, if you're live at night, I'm kind of busy at that time. Could you do it earlier? So we'll see. But tomorrow night, I think we could do that. All right. Everyone seems to like it. I'm a little hesitant on it. Let me sleep on it. I don't want to say guarantee one way or the other. So, okay. The boyfriend. Yes. I've heard that from a number of different people. And Ladybug was helpful. Well, it's tough. What does a weight have to do with anything? There's a video about it, Tina. There are some people upset that Rehoboth police described her as heavyset. You can see there's a video about it. Cable, don't call it that. 5:30. That's a little, maybe 5:30. I did a full video on it. There's all these people that are upset that the Rehoboth police described her as heavyset. So I did a video on it. You can check it out there. Well, folks, again, there are updates on the website. If you become a Facebook subscriber, people are posting she was located 45 minutes ago on Facebook. Now, just as a rundown. Now, Lisa, if you want to post that, you need to post, look at that statement. People are posting. Who's posting that? All right, let me check right now. So, but Lisa, if you want to be in a chat like this, like that means people are posting. People, what does that mean? What people? What people? Where's the proof? Thank you, Trish. People are posting. What people? If you see something like that, I would think you'd have a okay. Do you have a screenshot of that? I'll look that up. Nope, that's not it. So, Lisa, not to call you out, but so that's not people. That's one person. Ashley, Ned, Madeira. Now, am I supposed to find this post? Be a lot easier with a screenshot. See, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to contact the family and look like an idiot saying, hey, I heard they found her. So I'm not going to do that. Lisa Kendall. I'm looking at that name. And so do I have to click on everyone? Like, now do you guys see where this stuff just goes off the fucking rails? So, all right, let me check. So no media is reporting this, right? So no media is reporting this. I've been in touch with the family. They're not reporting this. But Lisa Kendall comes into the chat and says people are posting that. So I see. Okay. Gail Pine. Fall River page. I'm not going to the Fall River page. A woman named Denise McCullough. I think she sends me messages. She does send me messages. I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm not going to any Fall River page. What do you guys think? Should we ban Lisa Kendall for totally? So I have to go to the Fall River reporter page. Oh, a fundraiser and anonymous tip line has been created and a vigil's being planned. Okay, I see that. Now, someone just put, I thought they found this female. No. She has been found, another person puts. Yeah. No, she is not. Now all these other people saying, no, she is not. So her family didn't even allow her to live with them, but wants money for childhood neglect. Well, there's an Ashley Mercado. I don't see anyone by that name. I know that name, Denise McCullough, but isn't that terrible? Lisa, why are you putting this? Um, Family members are working on a vigil, but there's no date announced. These people don't have the information. They just have the GoFundMe stuff. Terrible. I don't know. I don't like that. Yeah. First of all, there's no date for a vigil. And there's Maureen McClellan. I was just about to. There's Denise. Denise, you're being quoted saying that they found her. It's on your post. First of all, Lisa Kendall, the name, I'm looking at it, and the name is not the name you're saying. I can't believe I have to go through this stuff. Because the name on here is Ashley Machado. Ashley Machado, not the name that you're saying. I see nothing about an Ashley Medeiros. So, and I don't see anything from Denise. Terrible. You know, I don't like this type of thing. I don't. Because you come in here on the post I shared. I don't like any of this stuff. Yes, you did. You know, I didn't say that. A woman commented. That's not, you came on and said she was found. And there is consequences. Now listen, Denise, I am encouraging you to be cautious. Who is this Maureen? I don't know where the moderators are. It'd be helpful if oh, I hate this. Maureen. Oh, here we go. All right, you know what? I want to address this. This video before I do. There's video of me leaving a note, and I was the one that called the police. I see it. I'll address it. Look at that. Hit and ran. You know why someone put something like that? Because they believe whatever they're told. I left a note and I called the police, but they repeat this other foolishness. Sorry, everybody. But see, that's the way they operate. Lie just becomes then what they're spreading. Yeah. See? And it is. It's the free Karen Reed people. Okay. Yeah, but it's really simple. It was June 18th. Do I really have to explain the whole thing? It was June 18th. That morning, I testified in federal court for the Cranston police. I then made my way to the courthouse. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Listen, there's video up of me leaving a note saying I may have collided with you. The woman, let me explain what the woman was like. She drove with no clothes, slept in her truck from Texas to be outside the courthouse. That's the type of individual you're dealing with. She reminded me of Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies. So these people leaped out. So I thought I heard am I running over crackling of something? So I moved my car. I wrote a note, my name, email, website address. Very sorry, I may have hit your taillight. Put it on the window, took a picture of it, and then went to the courthouse. And then when I came out, they're all over me. I called the police. I said, I'll give you all my insurance information. I'm not giving it to these people that were rabid around, screaming in the pink. And then, but look at the lie becomes, oh, he was involved with it. Some people were saying they thought I hit a person. What was I supposed to do? Stand by the car? Is the verdict's going to be coming down? No, I left a note. I took a picture of it. Took a picture of her vehicle, where it was. There's video of me picking up taillight pieces, putting it on her truck, leaving the note with my dry cleaning slip. But the problem is there's people like that. Look at how they're told a lie, and they just repeat a lie. He was involved with a hit and run. If I was involved with a hit and run, why is the video of me putting a note on her truck? I don't know. How am I supposed to contact her? What am I supposed to stand out there? Who the frig knows when she was going to come back? I thought it was like a rental. Who would drive their truck from Texas to Dedham? That lady. So the free Karen Read people saying, you're going to give us your insurance information, your phone number. I said, I'm not giving you. You people are delusional. First of all, you people are subhuman. I'm not giving you that. I'll give it to a police officer. So they take the video where I'm saying, I'm not going to give it to you. I'll give it to the police. So they take the video of me saying, I'm not going to give it to you, and they cut it. And then they put it out. See, he said he wouldn't get. They're absolutely bottom feeders. They're the worst. I can't stand them. But they just believe the lie. They're told it was a hit and run. There was people sending me threats saying that I had hit the woman. It was a parking lot. I'm still not even convinced I did. But I stopped because I was running over. I could hear, whatever it was, glass. But they were just so rancid and so lowbrow, and they're screaming. You would think I had hit someone. Nuts. But look at this. That was June 18th. It's all these months later. It's like, yo, you that woman for Texas. They're fucking crazy. God. All right. Well, anyway. Thank you, Tyler. I know, Lynn Miller. Oh, my God. They are, Chuck. They are. I know. Thank you, Chuck. I did. And the thing is, they have video. Thank you, Brandy. I want to just touch on that. Thank you, Trish. But let me just explain that. And Eric is on top of everything, Cheryl. First, they're mocking that there's video of me picking up the taillight. Then they mock that I left a note. And it was actually, I didn't have a business card. So what did I have? I had a dry cleaning slip. I don't have a piece of note paper or anything. So I had a pen. I wrote in the back of my name is on the dry cleaning slip, but then I left my name and email. So you can't have it both ways. If you want to post video, which they did, even a TikTok instantly of me leaving the note, they're filming that. They show me picking up the taillight. You can't then say, see, it was a hit and run. If it was a hit and run, why am I leaving a note and picking up the taillight? Because they just lie. They lie about everything. And someone like that, they just repeat the lie. They don't even care what the truth is. And I don't miss that crowd in any way. Yes. Oh, they were totally crazy. Yes, they were. I don't miss that crowd. I'm bringing it up. Why are they, because they're nuts. all the time. These people, did you? Did you recover from your hit and run? Like they don't. They have no interest in the truth. That didn't happen. But just finally, you can't have it both ways. You can mock me. Oh, look at this. He left a note. Oh, look, here he is picking up the taillight. If you want to make fun of that, I guess you can make fun of that. Why that's something to be made fun of. You know what else? Just a quick vent here. How about I've never had people, like I have an Italian name, Di Pietro. I've never come across people that then try to make fun of you're DePito. Like they're so juvenile. They're just the I've never encountered people like this. Like they're the worst people, but they're so uneducated, juvenile. You're making fun of but there's nothing wrong with my last name. My family came here in 1880, part Irish and part Italian. Oh, DePito. They're no one that I would ever associate with, work with, talk to. They're just, they remind me of Noah's Ark, those that didn't get on, then the river came or whatever, the river, the flood, then washed them all. I mean, they're just, it's not, you don't, it is a fool's errand to try to even discuss anything because they're just so whacked. They are. Think of that Texas lady, no change of clothes, no family member. That's right, Yankee. I got in my truck and she drove straight. Like, who would do that? She would do that. That lady. That's right, Yankee. I drove in my truck. When I saw it, she thought she saw like a sign. She drove through the night, slept in the truck, same clothes on. Like, that's who I'm trying to deal with. Delusional. Not that they are wackos. I don't miss that in any way. I'm telling you. Thank you, Laura. I'm getting better at it. I have to condition myself. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. But I'm not going to get into a big thing. But but do you see how they operate? They don't care whether it's true or not. They take a lie and then they just keep spreading. They have no interest in the truth at all. That's why this woman earlier, I wasn't, they do, Eric. Oh my God, like of all people. But notice that woman earlier. Does anyone else find it odd the police aren't saying anything? See, they want to immediately go to conspiracy. That woman has no idea. That's why I was so firm. No, this is how the police do it. Anyway, am I the only one noticing this is strange? The police aren't saying anything? Oh, the police don't want to say anything. Anyone else finding that out? I mean, that's how conspiracies start, because then they just start taking off from that. Now, yeah, that's right, Chuck. Telling you, Rock, it's all part of it. One last thing. What did we learn? There is no vigil planned. That's why I have a problem with these people. That's right. There's a vigil and she was found. She wasn't found. They're saying they may have a vigil and there's 3 GoFundMes up. So I don't know what to make of that. So, all right. I do have some updates tomorrow on, one last thing since I'm venting. All of that, again, all of that anger and everything, it's all of one thing, because I won't believe the story that they came up with, which was that he was killed in the house with no motive, no murder weapon, and tossed on the front lawn, and for no reason they decided to frame her. And here's the thing, you can't have a logical conversation with them. It's impossible. But so their whole thing, it's like it's almost like, remember kids, like it used to be the thing, they'd hold them down, say like call uncle or say I give up, whatever. But with this trial, her own attorneys didn't even continue that stuff. But all of their anger and hatred, you get on and you tell those lies, like it's all because I refused to go along with that. But if I had said, okay, I fold. I'm in. You're right. That's what happened. Well, then you're like, oh, you're a hero. So, but my point is, even her own attorneys don't believe that happened. They made it up. The system allows them to make it up. Very quickly, in a courtroom, you can come up with this stuff. In a courtroom, you can, but you can't say it on the courtroom steps or outside. With these people, and I do believe at some point there will be accountability, but where they were spreading it outside of the courtroom. So you can, if you're an attorney and your client, Brian Walsh, I'll just give a quick example. Or you know what? I'll give a better Mark. What's his name? Mark Perkins, who stands accused right now, is at the ACI, killing Charlotte Lester. So in the courtroom, his attorney could try to bring up that there was someone else and it was a love triangle. There was somebody else like that. In the courtroom, you are allowed to do that. But you can't start a campaign on social media and start going after someone. Okay? So anyhow, that's right. Thank you, Brian. My goodness, folks. I like that. Gable, let it out. No, I don't really drink anymore. No, I don't. I get indigestion. If I'm going to drink, it has to be really early in the morning. And when I'm doing a story like this, I don't drink. Since I had cancer surgery, there's no cigars and alcohol do not agree with my system. And getting a good night's rest is important because a story like this, we run 7 days a week. So I'd love to go have a drink, but no, not tonight. All right. Listen, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Janet Dwyer. Listen, we're going to do it tomorrow night. I'll line up. We'll have a psychic tomorrow night. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Thank you for the stars. We'll continue to bring in the latest. We have more updates coming on the website, tobetrue.com tomorrow.